Hey, I'm Cyclon, and today I want to cover Spectres on a Magic Find Tornado Shot Deadeye. I was about to say Summoner, which isn't wrong, but Deadeye is what we are. So, it's very interesting. I've been playing with it for the past 2 days, but for me and my stage with the fist conversion, it is not working as good, but it is very, very good for tree elemental. So I wanted to cover it, I wanted to give you an option, and of course there will be a POB in the description. That is the extension of my previous magic find guide, including now a tree and some notes for magic for the summoner setup. Now, I'm just going to cover what I did, then what I'm going to recommend, and finally what you need to make this work. It isn't much, but there is some things we need to keep in mind. So please, if you do want to try it, definitely watch the last section. Don't just grab the POB. Now, what I tried to do was netting an additional aura with using Spectres. So I was considering, or I was actually using, a Spectre to get Grace, a Spectre to get Determination, a Spectre to get my other minions tanky, and finally a Spectre to get Vitality and Endurance charges. So far, it sounded really good. On top of that, I get an Animate Guardian, giving me not only Garb of the Thermal, meaning my action speed can't be reduced, so my Greets Embrace slow, or any mods of enemies that slows me down, not happening, as well as reducing and disabling the crit on enemies that the Animate Guardian is nearby, meaning that the enemies then can crit me. If there's one beefy rare, the Animate Guardian walks up to it, the rare can crit me, so I can have the time to shoot it down. Now, by no means this build is immortal, it is dying mainly a little bit less than the normal one, but again, for me, fist conversion, I had another issue, and that was the Grey Spectre was dying. The Grey Spectre, compared to all the other Spectres, has a very low life, and in the very juicy maps, it did die. So I had to replace it with a Hulking Miscreation, gaining fist damage as extra lightning damage, and it felt really good offensively, but the issue was without header buffs in the map, I would still die a lot. So I learned Grace is important, which brings me to what you can do. Instead of trying it on a fist conversion setup, this is very interesting for a tree elemental. Now in tree elemental you usually have a secondary 6-link for Blast Rain, Storm Rain, Scourge Arrow of Menace or Burning Arrow, or have a Warlord's Mark cast on crit setup. All three very interesting, and this is another new alternative for that. What you can do is use your secondary 6-link instead for your Spectres. Now the Spectres you would be going for would be almost the same as I am. You would be going for the Turtle for Determination, you would be going for the Meatsec for the minion life, you would be going for the same Animate Guardian, you would be going for the same Warlord, but instead of trying to fit a Grace or this Miscreation, you can fit in a Spirit of Fortune. Now the Spirit of Fortune gives you a Wrath. According to PoEDB, this Wrath gives you 32.83 to 522.2 elemental damage, lightning damage. If we take a look at PoEDB, if you look at passive building, that is almost equal to a level 32 Wrath. Now that is a lot, and on top of that, it is even giving you lightning damage as lucky. Now, I don't know about the aura, but we haven't been using Wrath on the build so far, so this is basically a free damage aura, so we don't lose any of our defensive auras, as in your case, because I needed to use Hatred, this is the main issue why I can't fit Grace, you can use Purity of Elements, Grace, Petrified Blood, which is a setup you used to before, and now on top of that, you can use getting a Wrath and a Determination and Vitality. That is a pure plus on the elemental side of minion build, or bow builds, not minion builds. So for you, this is really, really great and really powerful. So knowing this is the potential it gives, massive lightning damage, culling, fortification, item rarity, crit multi, this is really big. Now, of course, there is a downside. You do need to use a 6-link, you do need to use Convocation, you don't have the space for the Mana Forge setup, so you need to use Blood Rage. So the other setup, we needed to shift some other things around. By the way, you don't need an Enlightened level 4. An Enlightened level 3 is more than enough, getting you to 123 auras. An Enlightened level 2 will be barely enough. I recommend using an Enlightened level 3, but if you are on a very low budget and have everything else but the Enlightened level 2 will work. Now to the cost of things. You're going to need a high-risk Ire with +2 to minion gems. Now, it shouldn't be expensive unless this video absolutely blows up and suddenly everybody's using minions. So, but in that case you then can be able to resell it once you get to first, so that's going to be fine too. So that one should be a low buying cost. What is going to cost you a bit is going to be the Empower, the 2120 Spectre, and the 2120 Animate Guardian. But these are, again, don't only sell to the bobbles that are going to be trying this out, but also going to be selling to the summoners. So those can be resold, I think, at a very decent rate. So you don't really lose out on these. What you are going to lose is a bit of currency for the Animate Guardian and the minions. Now, as the Spectres, there's 1-for-1 divines, others are a few chaos. They aren't really expensive, like 3 chaos, 30 chaos, 50 chaos, and 20 chaos, I think. So there isn't really big cost on these, but the Animate Guardian, of course, is using a Kingmaker, is using a Garb, is using a Region, Life Helmet, and Boots, so that one can cost a bit. So I would be setting aside maybe 20-30 divines, try it out, see how it feels for you, see how they survive for you, and then you can make your own opinion if you want to stick with them, or if you want to go out of them again. I used them, they didn't die for me with this setup, and I haven't been changing anything on my tree. I guess I did grab a Fortress Covenant for this spot, because I couldn't think of anything else there, and I have that fist damage reduction here, which might be impactful, but even with that, I'm at 66 fist damage reduction with the charges, with the fortification, and the turtle, so overall it's gonna be fine. This is really all there is to it. If you want to give it a go, please let me know how it worked for you. If you don't give it a go, what are your worries about it? All that being said, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. I'm sorry for this messy one, but I just wanted to share this before I'm swapping out of it, because it's definitely worth it. Try. Goodbye.